take me to your 60s, earlier 60s. What were you thinking? If you and then you practice for another almost 20 years. You practice for another 15 years. What would you tell yourself if you could go back to sitting across the table from Doc Nock at 60 years old? What would you tell yourself to prepare for the next 20 years?
Well, I was very fortunate to have a great dad, and he always said, you know, whether you're going to practice 10 years or 40 years, he says, you always like to do things you do well.
Mm.
So, you know, in your profession and in sports and everything else, just, you know, keep up to date and then do them well.
From now, kind of back to when you left the practice. How have you spent your time, and how have you felt like you've lived with purpose?
I was doing a lot of reading, and then I got interested in writing stories.
Really?
And more in the faith side of it, and so what I do is, what really spurred me on is I'd read 3 or 4 stories, the same themes, good verbiage in them, and then I'd put that all into one story, and using the best verbiage from all the stories.
Some of the guys that are going to be watching this are going to be sitting around a room, 60 years old. What advice would you give to them today? What advice would you give to a 60-year-old as that 60-year-old is planning for some transitions coming in his life, and mostly the transition from leaving full-time work to something else, thinking about how they're going to live with purpose the rest of their life? What would you say to a group of 60-year-old men?
Well, keep doing, and whatever you do outside of your profession, do it well.
Mm.
Because for one reason, that's my dad always preaches, you know, do it well, because you like to do what you do well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether it's your profession or sports or what.
Mm-hmm.
Do it well. Families that play together and pray together stay together.
Mm.